Leadership is based on inspiration, not domination, on cooperation, not intimidation. William Arthur Wood. Welcome to the Stitch for Success podcast. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, a mom, daughter, entrepreneur, and friend. I have a love and passion for all things small business. If you are a budding entrepreneur or just thinking about starting your own business, I sincerely want to help you. Every week, my goal is to bring you tips, thoughts, inspirations, and education to help you on your entrepreneurship journey. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Typically, I know that my intro is way more upbeat than it is today. But in all honesty, this past 2 weeks have really been rough for me. It's been rough for our whole country, and I don't feel like I can do this podcast without addressing how just seeing what I've seen over the past few weeks has made me feel. I've been distracted from work and business and exercise, this podcast. I cannot focus, and I'm mentally exhausted. As a mom of a 6-year-old black male and the wife of a black male who is a runner, I am just really disturbed by the images of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd. And of course, there's many, many more names. I usually don't like watching the news, but right now I can't seem to take my eyes off of it. And last week I was sad. I was up one night till about 4 a.m., literally in tears over the images of George Floyd. I was so hurt to see that a man's life was just snuffed out on the side of the street by someone that's supposed to protect all citizens. This week I've gone through anger, being mad about George Floyd being killed and mad about the lack of leadership from the top official of this country. After listening to the President of the United States speech in the Rose Garden earlier this week and watching him use our U.S. military to disperse peaceful protesters, it really made me think about leadership and what truly makes a great leader. As an entrepreneur and business owner, you are the leader. And I just wanted to share with you today some of my thoughts on what being a great leader is. Of course, there's many books out there you can read about leading greatly and being a inspirational leader. And I definitely don't discourage those. I actually really encourage those. But these are just some of my thoughts on what I think makes a great leader. First, a great leader has to be confident while also being humble. This can be a tough balance because you do have to exude boldness and be sure of yourself when you're speaking to your team. You don't want to appear as if you know nothing. Like, that wouldn't be cool. People won't follow that. But you have to understand that you're not the most important person in the room. As the leader of your company, you have a team, and you want that team to provide the best service to your customers and your clients. Therefore, they are more important than you. And as a leader, it is important that they know that they know that you know that they are the people who keep the wheels turning. Secondly, a true leader has to listen to the people around them who are more knowledgeable. I knew that our current president, and I don't want to necessarily make this a political conversation because I personally can be extremely conservative. But in this particular case, in all cases, when I'm looking to vote for someone, I'm looking at that person as an individual, and party really doesn't matter a whole lot to me. But I knew I couldn't vote for our current president, even when he was running, because he was just hard-headed on the campaign trail. He wouldn't listen to advisors when they told him to stay on script. He would simply go off on these tangents, and that is what he's doing now, not paying attention to those smarter than him. And it was really scary to me to think about someone in that type of position not willing to listen to people who were smarter than them. For example, if you have a military situation and generals know best what should or shouldn't happen, and yet our leader thinks that he already knows this, he's smarter than them. That's scary to me. For him to think that he knows more than the doctor who has studied infectious diseases for his entire life, that is just not smart. And as a leader, you have to hire smart, and you actually have to listen to the smart people who know more and know how to do things better than you do. We have one team member who is our production manager, and even though I have embroidered for a number of years, he knows way more than I know. I go to him with questions about different situations because he's smarter than I am when it comes to that. So, listening to those who are smarter than you is a great characteristic of a good leader. A great leader of a successful company always works to get to the root cause of a problem. If you have a lot of customer complaints, you could simply say to your team, we need to reduce customer complaints. But that will not resolve the issues. You must dig deeper. Listen to your team, listen to your customers. What are customers complaining about? Is it one issue or is it multiple issues? The problems of our country is systematic racism. George Floyd was not the first black man to die by the hands of a police officer. It has been too many, and that is the root cause of the problem. Summing someone up by the color of their skin and automatically assuming that they are up to no good and caring less about their life than the white person standing beside them. That is the root cause of the problems in this country. In your business, you have to be just as honest with yourself, even if it hurts. Your business is like your child. You love it. No one wants anyone calling their baby ugly, but you can only fix a problem once you are aware of what is causing the issue. That is what you have to solve, and it will only make your company better. Just like if our country honestly addressed the root cause of our issues, our country would be better for everyone. I go back to the quote at the top of this episode. Leadership is based on inspiration, not domination, on cooperation, not intimidation. So a good leader is not a tyrant. Perhaps that worked many years ago, but today people are not going to stick with a company and work hard for that company if the leader is rude, ungrateful, demeaning, and arrogant. Walking around the office yelling and harassing people, no one wants to be abused by anyone. So you're not going to keep a great team if that is your behavior. Lastly, a great leader has to inspire, meaning they must have and communicate a clear and hopeful vision for everyone. Imagine if you had a company where the CEO only provided the long-term vision for the company to a select few employees. No one else in the company knew the vision outside of those few. How far will that company get towards accomplishing that vision? Not very far. That is a company that will ultimately go out of business or fail. Now, a leader may let their direct reports know the vision, and that vision may get passed down from there. But the key is everyone in the firm must be on the same page, moving in the same direction. You will often find that successful companies will have all company meetings to discuss the vision, to discuss the company's future. They do not even want to take the chance of the message being conveyed incorrectly. We often have annual summits at our company where we bring in the whole team. We talk about what was good, what was bad from the previous year, what we want to keep, what we want to make differences and changes on, what our future vision is. And therefore, everyone in the company is on the same page and know where we're headed. The president of our country spoke for about 5 minutes the other day and gave no vision forward, no vision of a peace or no vision of peace or unity, only threats to the citizens of our country, threats to have the military that our tax dollars pay for on our streets that we pay for to suppress our peaceful protests. He was only speaking to one group of people and threatening another. He did not speak to the entire nation, a nation that is supposed to be united. A leader of a company aims to inspire the entire team for the betterment of the whole, not just a select group. If you desire to lead your company well, you must be humble. You must hire smart and then actually listen to those smart people. You must show your team respect and be thankful for all of the people that are working towards the common goal. And you as a leader must communicate that common goal or vision. You as a leader are ultimately responsible for the success of your company and no one else. Now, again, I did not intend for this episode to lean one way necessarily politically. However, I do think leadership is important. Leadership of a country, leadership of a business ultimately makes that entity successful or a failure. So we have to choose. I also want to add, I'm very grateful for those companies who have taken a stand against systematic racism. They have spoken out, they've released letters, they've released videos about the inequalities in our country. And many of them will not stop until they see a change. I personally plan on supporting these companies, and I encourage others to do the same. Thank you so much for listening to the Stitch for Success podcast today. I pray for our country. I pray for the leaders of our country. I pray for you as a business owner because being a leader is not easy. I truly appreciate you tuning in. If you want to learn more about successful small business, please subscribe to this podcast. It is available on Apple, Spotify, and most podcast platforms. Also, please follow us on Instagram. Feel free to message with questions, comments, or just thoughts. The website is stitchedforsuccess.com. It's always a pleasure to have you listen in. I hope you have a great one.